Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, we're going to do some testing with Mikola. I've done a bunch of testing with her. I want to show you guys the way her mechanics work and stuff like that at base. She's only legendary. If you're wondering where my summon video is, it was like 2 minutes long and it was just me swearing the whole time at the rates because I did about 100 pulls, just under 100, and I hit 2 pities and that was it. You guys know how it is. Summoning, I just can't do summon videos in this game because all I do is rage. It's just not fun. But we got 2 copies of it. I probably should have stopped at 1 and then got the extra Lily copies to get her to Supreme Plus. But hey, it is what it is. Let's go in and let's take a look. So in general, my early thoughts on Mikola is she's going to be pretty bad until you get her well duped. In the early, like if you're on a new account, maybe if you go for her on a new account, she can be viable once she hits Mythic Plus because then she starts dealing some damage as well and has that extra support factor. I don't know, but for a lot of accounts, I do believe based on, still I haven't been able to test her Supreme Plus, so I'm not 100% sure. But if it works the way I think it does, I think she's going to need Supreme Plus. Anything below that, she's going to feel really lackluster. Like Mythic Plus, she'll get a bit of viability, but I am thinking Supreme Plus is where she's going to be. But here we can test her early game. In AFK stage pushing, I'm just autoing through some of the multi-stage because I just unlocked it. But in AFK stage, I think she's quite bad at 1 copy. The problem when you have a melee, and I'll show you guys some testing there, but when you have a melee support, even though she does buff the defenses and stuff, she just runs in and dies. Like it's really tricky to play her at low copies. Especially with the early game meta, which is very standoffish, hold back, let them come to you, use Coco, abuse Smokey, Rowan, you know, like she doesn't fit into that meta, the early game meta. But like I said, if you do go hard on her and get her Mythic Plus, maybe she could be like even close to a carrier. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see the damage. But let's go over here. I want to show you in Dream Realm because it's a good place to look at the way her abilities work. So when she has that extra field, so that field that it says spans, what does it actually say? I can't remember, but it says spans the battlefield. It spans across the battlefield sideways, but it's not the entire battlefield, so it is a little bit awkward. However, it still works pretty decently. Now, summons do counter this, so here in the Skyclops, when the Skyclops summons the ads, they will actually take the field away from you. But the good thing, and the awkward thing is, there's only 1 melee character that actually gets classified as inside the field, because there's 1 character that will take that front and center spot, and that's inside the field, and then the others will go to the sides to fan out, and they won't be classified as in the field. However, the good thing about the field is all you have to do is control it, and then the additional effects that she has applies to all allies as long as you hold the field. The allies don't have to be inside the field to have that effect. So that's the good thing on bossing. When we look at her, she will still get full benefits. Skyclops is just one where sometimes the Skyclops will steal the field away from you with ads. However, if you're at an end game account, he won't, because your end game accounts kill the ads quick enough that it's not effective. So we will have to wait and see her full viability in bossing. I do think it is going to be her best place. I do think she will have more viability in PvP as well. I'm keen to see some Shakir teams. I honestly think she'll work decent with Iron and Olmus, because they'll be able to control enemies and hold them back at the start to let you get the field early days. But that's just another thing we'll look at when she comes onto the global servers. But I want to show you guys this in function and how it works, because when we start the battle, you'll see anyone that is technically inside the field, they will have a green arrow on their head. If they're an enemy, they'll have a red arrow. Then at this baseline of our side of the field, there'll be a little bar, and if you've got the most allies, it'll slowly creep up with green, and then the whole field will turn green, and that's how it works. So let's jump in and take a look. You can see that bar filling up, and now the field is green. You can see Thorin is in the field. You can see Lily is in the field, but no one else. You can see that Mikola, because she is in that other melee spot, because she can't be right in front of the boss, she is actually technically not inside the field. So she's not contributing to that, unfortunately, but that is just the way it goes. So you can see here, it works, honestly, it works decently well. And you can see the little field around her as well, which are the allies that are getting that buff. And as you can see, until she had to run across for that, I did have my Lily in range of her field to get the extra buffs. But then Lily there did get in range again, but obviously we got nuked by the old Skyclops. So that's not looking too good for us, but let's see if we can dance. Didn't get the dance. All right, best score, not too bad. So that is what we are looking at for the base mechanics. Like I said, the field that she puts up doesn't span the entire battlefield. You can see she's not dealing damage here because she's not meant to be. But it doesn't span like the entire battlefield. It goes across the battlefield. So that is going to be something very important to manipulate when we look to AFK stages and when we look to also... There we go. When we look to PvP as well. So if we go over here, let's just slap her into this. So the awkward thing is trying to make her work in these types of teams. So what I'd been doing was like trying to like run double tanks and stuff like that. I haven't found a way to make her work at low ascension in the early game meta. So let's go ahead. Where the hell is she? Where is she? Where is she? Oh, she's already in the team. Holy shit. I'm looking for Antandra. There she is. Alright, so we'll try something like this, and you'll see the awkwardness of her function because she runs into that melee range. And so here's like Brutus is handy for the taunt, and same with Antandra, but you can see as soon as Brutus dies, because Antandra's not right on top of her, it's just like I haven't found a way to make it work. Now, AFK stages, I do think in an endgame account, it maxed out, depending on how her numbers look maxed out. She could definitely have some great use cases. But like I said, the early game meta is pretty fixed, and it's more of a standoffish meta where you let the enemies come to you, and that is where I don't think she's quite excelling. So let's try it like this. Out of curiosity to see if Brutus can then taunt, get the heat off Antandra so that Antandra can live. No, Antandra still dies. Yeah, like I said, she's got interesting mechanics. It also sucks that it takes her until her first ult to actually get that field around herself for the buffing factor. So like she just doesn't have anything that lends itself to the current early game meta is what I'm finding essentially. So let's go something like this. Okay, she advanced way too far ahead there. Yeah. Let me know if you guys know any teams, but yeah, this early game thing, I feel like unless you have her Mythic Plus and she's like the carry and she can start like really chunking up the stats, I just don't see the functionality in the early game, and that's obviously all I can test her at the moment until she drops on global servers. Let's try it like this. She's out of the range of healing, but we're kind of surviving. Can we get a Smokey ult? No, she's dead. Yeah. I don't know, guys. You guys let me know, but I've tried playing around with her a bit this morning. I feel like she's doing decent early game in bossing. Just because I have such a hyper-built Lily. It works better than running an Odie in a team. I find the extra buffs are getting me, at least in the Skyclops anyway, is getting me a higher score running her over Odie, just because of how hyper buffy it is using the Lily May and just focusing in on her damage. But that is kind of where we're at. Like I said, let me know any thoughts you guys have. Once again, when we look at her skill set, if we look at her over here, boom. I still think she's going to be like probably a top. I wouldn't be surprised if she's the best support or best sustainer, like even replacing Smokey in bossing. If this and this work the way they read, if every ally is pulsing that 70% of her attack rating damage every second, and then that counts to her damage, where then she's healing allies because she's continuously hitting this limit, it just feels like, and I could be wrong, but this is going to be, if it works the way I read it, it's going to be completely broken, because this is going to apply the entire battle after the first 6 seconds due to her Supreme Plus. This is going to give her continuous damage that is higher than anything else I can actually imagine at the moment. And then this is going to give her consistent healing, because she's going to get that healing every second because of this. And I think it's just going to be insane. Once again, maybe there is like hidden cooldowns, internal cooldowns, caps that we don't see on this stuff. But in general, I think her Supreme Plus, allowing her to keep this damage pumping out from all allies on the battlefield, and then tying that into the healing that she's going to be dealing when she deals enough damage, which is going to pulse every second. If this works the way I think it does, it's just going to be nuts. It's going to be essentially nuts. That's the way I'm seeing it. Plus, you're getting all those added defenses. I think there's going to be a lot of different teams she can work in, but I love the melee focus of it. But yeah, just in the early game, she feels really clunky and really not good to play, because the early game is more that have your chunky tank take a hit at the start, maybe split the damage between your ranged DPS, hold everyone back, and then go. Whereas she doesn't slot into that meta because she just goes, look at my drums, and then she just dies, and pretty much it. But that is where we're at in the early game. I still think she's going to be amazing in end game, but so far testing decent in bosses in the early game, really, really horrible in AFK stages is my findings. Could be wrong, could be something else out there, but I'll keep you guys posted. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.